Yeah. Yeah. I ain't gonna say who's on the beat because you should know that by now. Check it. Yo, music's on my mind. I'm a 59, 50. I ain't lying. Check it. Yo, this song, this a give.
Yo, what up?
Yo.
BTV Sports. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of Yo BTV Sports, live from Bravery Studios in Garfield, New Jersey. I'm Jason Enrique. That's Ugo boy. And we also got another. We got one of the best people that you could one of the best people ever. I'm just going to simplify it as that.
Mongo Downey Jr.
in the building.
Mongo Downey Jr.
What's up, everybody?
Mongo Downey Jr.
Congrats on the Oscar.
Thank you.
Shout out to Oppenheimer. Yeah. Well, anyway, guys. Glad to be back, Mongo. Well, I'm glad to have you back.
Thank you.
And yeah, what a time to come back because there's been a lot going on in that's an understatement, actually. There's a lot going on in free agency in the NFL. We say it all the time. There's never a dull moment in the NFL. It's the offseason, but it feels like the Super Bowl still. But yeah, it's been a lot going on. I would say that arguably the biggest story is Saquon Barkley going to the Philadelphia Eagles. I would say that's arguably the biggest story because of all of the nuances that come with it, going to a division rival, a heated division rival, and then also like sniping back and forth with the media figure. We're talking about Tiki Barber and Saquon Barkley. A whole lot of nonsense, a whole lot of clown stuff. Where do we go from here? It's Tonka truck as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you got to start with Barkley. I mean, he was the highest rated running back on the board. You knew he was going to get the most money.
Not named Derrick Henry.
Not named Derrick Henry. I knew he was going to get more than Henry though, because he's younger. He's younger, and what's funny about it is that I see the parallels because the Eagles did this before with DeMarco Murray. Like, tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies. We got Steve on the boards.
Yes.
Steve-O. It's like the Eagles. They want to be. They want their identity to be the offensive line again. They want their identity to be the run game again. Because the damn sure ain't the quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, you don't make this move.
This is Tush Push Start Part 2.
It really is. You got two guys that both squat 5 billion pounds, and Tush Push is going to be even better.
Yep.
And you lost Kelsey to retirement. You lost Fletcher Cox to retirement.
Yep.
But I give round of applause for Howie Roseman, and I like the free agency is when he thrives. All right, he does not draft well outside of defensive linemen. We talked about that a million times.
Right.
But for them to go out and get C.J. Gardner-Johnson,
that was big.
Really good move for them. And then for them to get Saquon to take the burden off of Hurts a little bit more, and speaking of more, Kellen Moore, Kellen Less,
yeah,
and then offensive coordinator.
And let's also not forget one of our favorite players, Bryce Huff, is no longer a Jet. He is now in the Eagles.
He's now an E-girl. Congratulations! How you guys feel about that?
Different shade of green,
Yeah.
and he's counting more green now. He got his bag.
I was over Bryce Huff already because I assumed there was going to be a wild bidding war for him. I wanted no part of that. He's good, but he's not worst overpay of the offseason good, which was my fear. And so this wasn't that, but I was okay with it. What I do think this is a great fit for Bryce Huff, right? Bryce Huff is partly who he is because there were so many options on the Jets, front line that he could be rotational. He was never the focus of the other team's offensive line. He's going to be the same with the Eagles, with Davis and Graham and everybody else there. He's going to still be sneakily unaccounted for way too often, and he's going to have another great season, but more because of who he's around than who he is even.
And I think the Jets front office, they really want Will McDonald to really pop out, especially being the first pick of last year. They didn't have a spot for him. He was in a rookie season. Bryce Huff was getting to the quarterback very efficiently, but now it's Will McDonald's time to shine, and he has a lot to answer because Bryce Huff, I wouldn't say that it's ginormous shoes to fill. Ginormous shoes to fill, but you have to go out there and prove that you are a first round pick because Bryce Huff was undrafted.
Yeah. And it's even more about being a ginormous role to fill. Everyone on the Jets last year, Quentin Jefferson was getting to the quarterback in a way he doesn't always. Al Woods was doing his job better than anyone expected. Mm-hmm. If Will McDonald comes in and tries to just act like a star, act like a number one pick and changes the dynamic of that defense, it's not going to work. And he will be quickly compared to some of the other busts we've had, many of which in the last 20 years. But if he can just come in, ask on the snaps he's asked to play and just do his job, I think it's a replaceable role.
Are we going to talk about the Washington Commanders?
I mean, I feel like we have to. I mean,
we got to talk about
your former guy, Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn. Listen, he joined the tour. He's on tour with Lionel Richie and the Washington Commodores. And boy, is it the Washington Cowboys? Because goodness gracious, they signed. They signed Doris Armstrong. They signed Tyler Biotish. They signed Dante Fowler. They just got Bobby Wagner. On my drive here, I got that information. Austin Eckler as well. Marcus Mariota. They signed 1, 2, 3.
They got Marcus Mariota as well. I missed that.
They did.
They got Nick Allegretti as well, who Super Bowl stalwart Nick Allegretti.
Exactly.
That's super important too.
They've signed 10 free agents in the first 3 days of free agency.
Well, Lord knows they can't draft, so they got to pivot elsewhere.
5 Dom DeMarcos for that, and tell me when I'm telling lies. See, it's the balancing act for me because again, free agency is supposed to supplement the draft, not replace the draft,
and they're doing it ass backward.
Of course, which lets me know that the Commodores are going to be right on brand with who they've always been. They're going to this has shades of the years in past where they signed Deion Sanders in free agency or Albert Hainsworth.
What's the name that comes to mind?
Adrian Peterson.
They're still paying Albert Hainsworth.
I think so.
So it's just like, like all the and this is what the clown fake take shows they're going to just. They're going to pile on in the offseason. They're like, look at what Washington's doing. They just got Doris Armstrong. they just got Tyler Biotish. They just got
Austin Eckler.
They just got Austin Eckler. They're about to win the Super Bowl. And it's just like, last time I checked, their quarterback under his contract is still Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Still.
Jacoby Brissett is now back in New England, so.
Yeah. And they're picking number 2 overall for a reason. And I pray to God it's Drake May. It would be. We talked about this on the last episode of the Go Away podcast. Now streaming on all digital platforms.
Yeah, great episode, by the way, guys.
Thank you for the shout out. I appreciate it. We had to wrap up. We had to wrap up the NFL season the right way and setting the stage for the Commodores to go on tour and draft Drake May. It needs to happen. I need it. I might get his jersey just to troll. I mean, just like I still might put a Will Levis jersey just to troll.
You're making money like that? Is that what we're doing right now in this economy?
Get it off Wish. I'm not getting it. It's not going to be authentic.
I might have to afterpay that or something. I don't know.
That'll be installments.
You can just get it off of these guys when they're not playing in 5 years.
Literally.
I mean, you can just say, "Hey, Will, can I have that jersey?" Yeah, here you go.
It'll be on the clear track at Marshall's.
That reminds me when I got a Tim Tebow Jets jersey off of a claw machine. That's similar what it's like. And that's a real story, by the way.
We suck.
I saw a Le'Veon Bell jersey at Marshall's in the clearance rack, and it took everything in me not to buy it from one of you guys.
By the way, did you see him on Twitter or X or Twix, whatever you want to call it, where he, he's actually, retweeting and liking comments of the Steelers possibly bringing him back on? Have you seen that?
Oh dear!
Wow, I mean, talk about a music career that went nowhere.
An NFL career that quickly went nowhere when he joined you guys.
Well, it was slightly better than his music career, that's for sure. I mean, that's what happens when you have Adam Gase as your head coach. Need I say more?
The eyes are suspicious.
Yeah,
the eyes of March.
That name makes me physically ill. I think at this point that is just a dirty word at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, aside from the Commanders and Lionel Richie. You gotta love what San Francisco's doing. They're right on brand. Pass rush. They go out and get Leonard Floyd. They got Gross Matos, former Penn State alum. Yep. Malik Collins, Eric Kendricks. I mean, they understood that a big reason why they lost, besides the fact they have, Brock Montana at quarterback,
right,
is that their defense kind of fell apart toward the end of the year last year, and it wasn't getting home. And that back end, which I said was overrated to begin with, kind of got exposed. So,
and it got exposed at the worst possible time in the big game.
Yes,
in overtime.
Exactly. So for them to go out and try to fortify theirs early in free agency is not too surprising.
Now, real quick though, if you've been under a rock the last 3 days, which by the way, free agency now feels like Black Friday, where every year it starts 3 hours earlier than it did the previous year.
Right, yeah.
I'm telling lies right there.
But if you missed it, the Niners don't now have 12 defensive tackles. They lost. They let go of Armstead. They lost Kinlaw, now a New York Jet, by the way, Javon Kinlaw, and Chase Young looks
and
as
Isaiah,
good as gone. So
Forget, but he was a 49er as well.
But yeah, it was more about, changing those guys because what you guys are alluding to, right? Did those guys get the job done? No. They know what their formula is. They know what they like. It got them pretty darn far, but now they're going to go get guys who they think can do it. So I like what they've done.
Yeah. And also, let's not forget that Mike Williams was cut from the Chargers today. A 7-year career in Los Angeles, and now he's cut. I don't know who's going to want him. He's a talented receiver when healthy, and that's a big if. Injuries has plagued his career, his entire career. So it's no wonder that they couldn't find a trade partner for this guy.
Oh, that's a Stephen Jones bozo special right there. Oft injured, seeking the veteran minimum. Like, you want to talk about a poverty franchise-led individual, it's Stephen Jones. He was the clown of the week last week, and spoiler, he might be clown of the week again this week. But that has shades of our free agent. Again, Dallas free agency doesn't even start until next week anyway. So let's just get the ball rolling with veteran minimums. Yeah. That's the plan. And for an all-year lame duck year with Mike McCarthy and potentially your quarterback even, yeah,
I mean, listen, you're talking to two guys that are fans of a historically bad franchise that is known for this. I mean, Randall Cobb, anybody last year? I mean,
how Lazard do for you guys?
As well as he'll do this year. Don't worry.
Exactly.
He's still under contract, isn't he?
Oh yes.
If he isn't, they'll get him under contract. I'm telling you, we have no plan for 2025 and beyond. So any 1-year deal we can sign, to put it as soon as Aaron Rodgers. I said this on our show last time, right?
Yeah.
It's a foregone conclusion to me. The Jets have every intention of picking first in the 2026.
Especially when you have
do not have a plan.
Especially when you have a quarterback who is talking politics.
Yeah.
His potential race is more important than him on the field right now.
I think Jeopardy is more important than either one of those at this point. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah. So our teams will be picking 1 and 2 in 2025.
Beautiful. And this is coming to fruition because you did say this is going to be lame duck year for both Saleh and also for Mike McCarthy.
Tell me what I'm telling lies.
Expect Mike Vrabel to become a New York Jets head coach and Bill Belichick to be the Cowboys head coach. It's coming into fruition, my man.
All I do is just drop facts. I went back and listened to episode 1 last night, as a matter of fact.
Oh wow, you went all the way back into the archives.
And I was first of all, I said that the Cowboys would be 12-5. So
yeah, but you also said the Jets would make the playoffs.
Yeah, so. But that was pre-Aaron Rodgers. I think with a healthy Rodgers, you guys would have made the playoffs.
I agree with that.
So
you would have won at the very least 10 games.
The only thing I was dead wrong on was I said that the Giants were going back to the playoffs. And boy did Daniel Jones say, "Hold my beer" on that.
Is there a slippery bananas drop that they have that we could play for the Giants strictly?
Totally.
Very Hanna-Barbera-ish,
Yes, totally.
But also Calvin Ridley going to the Tennessee Titans. I guess Will Levis is him, as the kids say, according to Calvin Ridley.
No, he's there as we goodness gracious.
But $92 million deal. I mean, talk about overpaying.
This is what happens in free agency. You remember Christian Kirk got like $100 million, something crazy like that for the Jaguars. It's something about the AFC South where they just love to overpay wide receivers. And I'm not saying Calvin Ridley trash because he's not. He's actually a really good receiver, and whatnot. But $92 million.
I mean, that's like the Jets overpaying for Jamal Adams when he wasn't worth it either. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks got buyer's remorse, and it's further proven now since he's homeless right now.
Don't worry, that Jets reunion is coming. I just want you guys to know.
Jamal Adams. I don't know. I think he's looking for houses in Dallas right now.
Yeah, he can play linebacker, right?
That's all we take. That's all we only take. Safety hybrid. Safety. Keanu coming too.
Yes, come on down. Coming down.
I'll say this though about Tennessee. If I really do believe I could, to me, Kansas, I mean, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but handicap in the AFC as it stands right now, Kansas City, Baltimore, Houston, to me are a step above.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
I think I could genuinely make a case for 10 different teams on why they're the 4th best team in the AFC.
Yeah.
I really do think I could make that case. Of the remaining 3 teams, at least Denver and New England will have a little bit of shine on them because they'll have rookie quarterbacks. And then there's the Titans. Yeah. To me, the Titans are in their own 16th place circle of hell, and they have to, right? How else are you going to get free agents there? They're the only unattractive option in the AFC. You have to do that. You don't have a choice. So
unless you're the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, but speaking of AFC South, I mean, I love round of applause for what Houston's doing.
Yeah,
mentioned.
Yeah,
they trade for Joe Mixon, a 7th rounder.
That's
like Madden franchise mode right there. They
CJ Stroud is becoming a difference maker already.
They get Danico Autry. They get Jeff Okuda, Donnell Hunter, a guy I thought would be reunited with Mike Zimmer. I mean, Mike Ford. I mean, Dalton Schultz. They bring him back because him and Stroud have good relations.
Correct.
Azeez Al-Jahir, a great linebacker from San Francisco. D'Amico Ryan's just like, yo, get my guys back. Get all my guys back.
And let's not forget they got that nice state tax break. You know, they save a whole lot more money on that in Texas.
Houston, don't be shocked if Houston is a top 3 seed in the AFC next year.
I'm with you.
I mean, they overachieved. They got their feet wet this year, and it's Stroud's rookie year. But expect him to take a jump, and expect again. Ryans has instilled a culture.
Yes.
Once a coach instills a culture, and they become accustomed to winning. That's how playoff success. That's how Super Bowl runs happen.
Correct.
You know, and they've been starving for that.
Right.
Since David Carr.
I mean,
since the inception.
Isn't it baffling that D'Amico Ryans actually has an actual quarterback before Kyle Shanahan, his predecessor?
Dom DeMarco, and an actual plan to develop him.
Exactly.
As well.
We spoke about that again. You know, no developmental clause when it comes to Kyle Shanahan. It's just follow the script.
Right?
Yes. Debo, who by the way is on the trade block. I heard Debo and the Ravens is a possibility. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but the fact that it's being discussed this early in week 1 of free agency lets me know that where there's smoke, there might be some fire. So don't be shocked because again, they can't develop quarterbacks. So why not get more picks to put more Avengers and add more characters around their quarterback who needs to be carried? Tell me one time that. Just say.
Yeah. Also, Josina Anderson is reporting that New England has moved on after missing out on Calvin Ridley. They're going to target a wide receiver in the draft. So I don't know if they're going to go quarterback. Maybe they're. What's the name of that wide receiver that's like making all the headlines right now?
Well, there's a few of them.
There's one in particular.
There's 2 of those Texas kids that both ran like 4.40. There's of course the Rome kid from Washington.
Yeah,
him. I think he's the best.
That's
wide
the
receiver.
one I'm thinking of.
Yep.
All right.
Of course, Marvin Harrison Jr. You know.
Sorry, Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the one. So they're going to take that. I mean, it's probably a safer bet than Drake May or JJ McCarthy at this point.
I think a lot of teams. I saw this on Sports Illustrated. They announced this today. They were just like. The Giants are going to try to move up. There's a lot of teams that are going to try to move up because they feel like the 3 top quarterbacks are kind of locked in. They feel like it's Caleb, Drake, and Daniels in whatever order you want to put them in. Right. I still think Caleb, Mr. Wendy's, is a lock to the Bears at 1. I don't see them trading out of it.
The Bears.
So I just don't. So really, it's just where does May land and how much does Washington like Daniels? Does Washington see him as a better version of RG3? Right.
And I'm also seeing here that Khalil Mack is agreeing to restructure his contract to free up cap space. So it looks like the Chargers are not done either.
Yeah, Harbaugh had a conversation, was like, listen, you want to stay on the team, buddy? I need you to take that restructure. Yeah. And that's what happened. You know what I mean? So it's not surprising at all.
If we can go back real quickly to the Patriots here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So when you look, the Jets we've all established are going to just be terrible after Rodgers retires, presumably after this year. And
he's going to go on a campaign trail. That's what's happening.
And the Dolphins, we might get there, but the good signings the Dolphins made this offseason, Jordan Poyer, Anthony Walker, Shaq Barrett, all 1-year deals. The god-awful signings they made, they signed a long snapper to be their center. They signed the Titans long snapper who only was good, Aaron Brewer, last year under Mike Vrabel, who made everyone better. He's going to be a disaster there. Mm-hmm. They go and sign Jordan Brooks, who's a first-round bust for 3 years. Anyone who's going to be there after next year, they're not going to be good. I'm sorry. The Dolphins are going to take a step back after this year, after they go all in this year. And Buffalo's going to need some time to replace Poyer, to replace White, to replace all those guys. It's not the worst idea for New England to take a couple years in this rebuild because the AFC East is going to be pretty bad in 26, 27. I mean, they might just be forecasting, which I wouldn't blame them for.
And Miami's getting ready to pay Tua.
Yeah.
And they're going to pay Tua in the range of $40 to $50 million, probably more so the $50 million range. And I told you guys, brace yourselves, Brock Purdy's going to make $50 million a year. Give me 10 more. So as much as San Francisco fans want to keep tooting the horn that they're the team to beat in the NFC, which they still are, based on what Detroit's still in the conversation. Don't be shocked if Green Bay takes another step because especially if they have another strong draft and if they rebuild that offensive line.
And they just signed Josh Jacobs.
They just got Jacobs, which is only going to help the development of Mr. Love. So
Green Bay, by the way, I had one of my secret winners here, the Green Bay Packers. I love what they did. Only really 2 big signings. They went and got Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs.
Right.
They're basically the sophomore team this year, right? They're the team that's expecting big things. Well, if the sophomore team gets too big for them and they need to kind of slow down the game, who's better to slow down the game than Josh Jacobs, right? Let him run the ball 25 times. And if they do make that next step, who embodies that sort of careless young recklessness more than Xavier McKinney?
Right.
They kind of hedged their bets with 2 guys who can sort of be the face of their season. I love what they did there.
This is going back to what Ugo Damas was saying on the Ugo Boy podcast, where you said that the team that in the NFC that didn't make it to the playoffs that are going to make it this year is Minnesota. That was your pick. So it looks like it's going to Little Ugo Damas here. And also, can we give a little bit of love to the Pittsburgh Steelers for actually not acquiring, not only acquiring Russell Wilson, but also getting Patrick Weed.
The linebacker that I wanted, and I craved for to be in Dallas. But of course,
We knew it wasn't going to happen.
we both knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was just conjecture. But round of applause
Is
for
it true that the Dallas Cowboys are the only team that didn't sign anybody during the legal tampering period?
No, the Bucks as well. The Bucks also didn't sign anyone, but the Bucks did.
They did get Baker his deal.
Yeah, and they re-signed
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans too.
Yeah.
So they made in-house moves, but they didn't make any outside moves. But the Cowboys did sign a long snapper, Trent Sieg.
Hey!
Round of applause. Round of applause. Round of applause. And on that note, I think it's time to keep that same energy.
That big Trent Sieg.
Right, here we go.
This episode, come on, tight on me, baby. This episode, keep that same energy. It's brought to you by New York Posse. Grab yourself some official New York Posse merch at American Dream Mall. Things galore at Etsy, my brother's AI-inspired art company. The You Go Boy podcast. Grab the merch, baby. I'm merched out. Ongo's merched out. Hats available at live shows. All that good stuff. And of course, Bravery Studios. Yes, sir. So remember, guys, when Jerry Jones came out and said that the Cowboys were going to
All in. I can't say it with a straight face.
give me 10, tell me when I'm telling lies. Let's load him up.
Tell me. This could just be the whole hour.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a drink. Can I get you guys anything while I'm at it?
I'll be right back, guys. Goodness gracious. There's a reason why Stephen Jones got this bozo mask last week. Because when free agency started, he was at South by Southwest on a panel talking about the good old days back when Jerry Jarrah was with Phil Knight at the Meadowlands for a Cowboys Giants game in 1995. That's what he was doing. And you know what, Jerry? He's in the Bahamas. He's on vacation. So on day 1 of free agency, while everything's getting better, everyone in the leagues is making moves. The Cowboys are just getting ready for free agency to start next week because that's what they do. Free agency begins for the Cowboys in week 2. Now, again, they haven't been to an NFC Championship game since 1995. They haven't won or been to a Super Bowl since 1995. And just recently, for the first time since 1992 or 93, they had back-to-back winning seasons. Now 3 straight winning seasons. So
Wow.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he's making Jim Irsay look like Robert Kraft at this point.
Honestly, because again, another savage. That was good.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm here all week.
Exactly. So again, no one is saying to be the Washington Commodores. God, no one wants to be the Washington Commodores. No one's saying that. Well, what I am saying is, notice all the top tier teams in the NFC and even the AFC, the teams on the up and coming, they all made moves. It's an arms race.
Yeah.
Because again, free agency
Perfect.
is meant to give me 10 perfects if you can find them. The free agency is supposed to be is to supplement and complement what you do in the draft, not basically leave you pigeonholed to be like, damn, really need a tackle. I guess we got to take the 4th best tackle over the top rated wide receiver or top rated center that we really do need. The Cowboys need about 6 or 7 starters. And if you mean to tell me that they're going to find that in the draft come April, their starters. And again, what they do is the bargain basement shit that I mentioned early on in episodes 1 or 2 or 3 of this show is, again, you want second tier guys that wouldn't be starters anywhere else. Exactly. Again, so you want to bank on T.Y. Hill coming out of retirement?
You sure about that?
You want to bank on Nolan Carroll at cornerback, or Stephen Paella, or Dontario Poe? Just insert barrel free agent that you haven't heard of that the Cowboys are going to make a starter. And again, who gets blamed in all this? They're going to blame him and say that his contract, by the way, he's eligible for an extension. He's been eligible for an extension for almost 2 years now. They can sign him, and they still can. The Cowboys could sign him to an extension today if they wanted to alleviate some of the cap. But let me tell you what's happening right now. And I've got this from noted sources that are in the building: the Mike Fishers of the world, the Jane Slaters of the world, the John Jock Taylors, the Clarence Hill, the actual people that have boots on the ground of what's going on, the Patrick Walkers of the world. The Cowboys may be headed to a rebuild. And that sickens me to say, because that Green Bay loss in the playoffs changed the front office's they changed their view of Dak Prescott as well as Mike McCarthy. They were just like, we just won 12 games again, and we look that bad. Damn, we might have to blow it up.
I don't know how you're going to get the taste of ass out of your mouth after that game.
Savage.
A good step forward is to be aggressive in free agency, to try to go at it. Because if you're around the rim, as Jerry Jones quotes, then wouldn't a couple moves in free agency and a strong draft class, wouldn't that be the difference? But no, you're going to bank on last year's draft class, this year's draft class, and second-tier free agents. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked in 30 years. The last time they were aggressive in free agency was 2012. We talked about this. They signed Brandon Carr on day one for $50 million, and they went 8-8 that year. And then they went 8-8 the following year. And they blamed free agency instead of Jason Clap Garrett instead. It makes no sense what they're going after. Steve's playing the music. It makes no sense that what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same things over and over, expecting a different result.
Exactly. So very well. Again, a week from now, because we're going to do another pre super draft show to wrap up free agency. When I get back from the road with the Harlem Wizards. But yeah, when the Cowboys sign freaking Emmitt Smith out of retirement and freaking Deion Sanders' cousin out of retirement as well to supplement the roster, we'll be here, same bat time, same bat channel, and very well, this could very well be the beginning of the end of the quote unquote Dak era, because honestly, the big that's gonna let everyone know what's gonna happen. If they let Dak play out his contract, mark my words, it's gonna blow it up. Yeah, they're absolutely gonna blow it up. If they sign him long term, which I still pray is gonna happen, then you know they're gonna blame McCarthy. This is a McCarthy thing. Okay, right. Listen, if he doesn't get it done, we'll get him out. Hopefully they'll get Bill, and then they're just gonna continue to ride with Dak. But Dak's extension is letting everyone know right now if the Cowboys are basically all in on a rebuild, because that's really what the all in means. Yeah. They're all in on 2025, picking in the top 5. Yeah. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
We got a couple of breaking news this year as well. So we got the Arizona Cardinals are expected to sign Bengals offensive tackle Jonah Williams, a late splash. They also got Arizona also just released tackle DJ Humphries, so he's out there. So and also Mr. Cool himself, Joe Flacco, is going to sign with the Indianapolis Colts.
Nice. He's going to start.
Oh, yeah, I dig that.
And then to add a third one, which is baseball related, the Padres have traded for Cease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Reported by Jeff Passan. But anyway, we can go back to that.
I'm not mad about that.
No.
Yeah, but Yankees, wake up.
Yeah.
You need 5. You can knock again.
You need 5, guys. You need 5 starting pitchers.
Ian Snell. Hey, big head. Yeah. I sent him the text just now.
Cole is going to be out 1-2 months. He's obviously not going to start open day. So come on, trying to wake up, Brian. Get out that purse, Hal. Stop running. Let's go.
Remember that the luxury tax.
Yes. What a disaster.
Can't touch that. Can't touch the luxury tax. I mean, don't tell it to the Dodgers. And by the way, on the inaugural episode back last year, I said Ohtani was going to the Dodgers. Yeah. I did. Tell me what's all on is.
Ugo Damas here. That's your new nickname now. Ugo Damas.
I said if the offseason didn't start with Soto or Ohtani, mainly Soto, I wasn't interested. we did get Soto. So hey,
Yeah.
listen, I watch sports. Okay, it's what I do. My son. Hey,
This is what we do over here.
Going back to the Cowboys though, real quick.
Yeah.
First of all, what the worst part of this is that the Diggs injury and the experience, the playoff experience he brings, was clearly on display.
yes.
And that's obviously resolved. He's coming back, and the defensive decisions made in that playoff game were atrocious, and that problem's been resolved.
Facts.
So it stinks that they're gonna let that game, and I get what you're saying, right? That's gonna sting forever, but arguably two of the biggest problems in that game have already been resolved. Like, it's a shame if they're going to let that game completely dictate the future when they got to see where it goes now that they've solved two of those problems. I'll also just quickly say, somebody in this room, it might be us, it might be you, but next time we talk, I have a funny feeling one of us will have David Bakhtiari starting at left tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Did I wait? Can I get a tell me when I'm telling lies? And can I get a Roman Reigns too? I know it's there. Did I not say on the last episode when we wrapped NFL season, David Bakhtiari could be a casualty? Can I
You did have Bakhtiari,
Give me 10 more of those.
and he belongs with us.
Did you also see that the Bears have signed former Jets quarterback Brett Rippon
Yeah, I saw that.
Whoa.
I saw that.
That's
to a 1-year deal?
I saw that. It was a toss between him and Tim Boyle. They just were going to go with the hotter hand.
Yeah.
They got Swift too.
Hot is an
I
understatement
like
when it comes to these two guys.
Oh man, but round of applause for the Ravens.
Yeah,
too.
for sure.
I love,
To me, out of all of the teams that have made moves, I think that they made some impressive moves. And here's the thing: like, as far as the Steelers is concerned, I love the move of the acquisition of Patrick Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Russell Wilson. He was once a great quarterback, and things have soured in Denver. And he's been a nozzle on social media and so on and so forth. He's not a very well liked guy in the locker room. We all know the stories. But I feel like when you have a coach like Mike Tomlin and a culture that has been instilled forever in Pittsburgh, and when it's a no nonsense, hard edged, hard nosed town for football and everything that you have around it, and you have the pieces, you have T.J. Watt on the other side of the ball, and everything else that comes in between. I think this is going to be a reckoning for Russell Wilson. Now we'll just see if he can handle the moment at the end of the day.
for the first time in probably like the last 3 years since Kenny Two Gloves come into the league, the Steelers now can say, okay, you have Burrow when healthy, top 3 quarterback. Yeah, you've got Lamar, reigning MVP. And yeah, you got Watson or Flacco, whoever's there.
Yeah.
We can actually be in the conversation now because it was for the longest. It's been one of these quarterbacks is not like the other. And yeah, we've got Tomlin and we don't have losing seasons and we run the football and terrible towels and this, that, and the third. They've had a deficiency at quarterback since Kenny Pickett's name was called.
Yes.
And now with Russ, if he stays healthy, if they continue, because you can win with Russ. We mentioned this in weeks past.
Yeah.
You can win with Russ. It has to be a certain type of way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Tomlin is going to adjust the game plan. And with Arthur Smith now, who I believe is the offensive coordinator.
That is correct.
That's a good fit for the type of things that Russ does well. And I expect for them, once again, to be a playoff team. And again, you're talking Patrick Queen with a young Joey Porter, who's a blossoming superstar,
yep.
and Watt and Highsmith. The Steelers have the pieces to be a force in not just the AFC North, but in the AFC if they get into the tournament. Because if you can rush the quarterback and if you can run the football, you can beat anybody in this league. And that's the formula. It's still a formula.
Yeah.
The big thing for Russ Wilson here, we know that Arthur Smith loves to look at his roster and go, who's the biggest no-name on this team?
Yeah.
Let's make him a fantasy stud for the week.
Unless his name is Desmond Ritter.
Meanwhile,
Savage.
Meanwhile,
That's a savage.
you got Russ Wilson, who has thrown plenty touchdowns to the likes of Will Disley, Luke Wilson. I mean, Russell Wilson loves throwing to the no-name tight end.
Yes.
Yes. You don't know, right? None of us know.
Old school, bottle rocket. I've seen them all, baby.
Literally.
Could be either guy. You wouldn't know. But Russell Wilson is all in on I go where the open guy is.
Yep.
He's not about And I think it actually helps them moving Deontay Johnson. I think because last week it felt like there was a different disgruntled Steeler receiver every single week.
You knew one of them was going to go. It was either going to be him or Pickens, and I'm pretty sure it was going to be Johnson.
Right.
So that's not a shocker.
And also, I want to shift to the Giants back real quick. So it looks like they really shored up that defense they made some good pieces. They brought in Brian Burns. They still have Thibodeau. They still have Dexter Lawrence, and so on and so forth. And I don't know what they're going to do with defensive coordinators since Wink Martindale already left. So it looks like their defense is getting pretty solid, but there's still a lot of question marks on the offense. Obviously, you just lost Saquon. And before Russell Wilson went to the Pittsburgh Steelers, they actually inquired, the Giants, that is, they inquired about Russell Wilson back in Denver, which tells you one thing. They are done with Daniel Jones. And Tyrod Taylor just signed as the backup quarterback to the Jets, so he's gone. So right now, the only person I believe in your quarterback room is, DeVito.
Hey, Paisan,
no, that's not correct.
No,
they have made a signing.
Yes, I forgot.
Sweet Drew Lock.
There you go.
He's there, ready to take over at a moment's notice.
Tom DeMarco, Seattle legend, Denver legend, Missouri legend.
Yep.
one of those was true.
Wasn't he the same one that was singing Jeezy?
Yes.
That was Clinton for word.
As well as the Eagles Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Help us with the East. But no, I mean, so until the Giants settle on a quarterback, and it might be this year. It might absolutely not be this year. I know that there are talks of them moving up. They do like Jaden Daniels. Bo Nix is in the conversation as well as a sleeper. Because
what about McCarthy?
JJ McCarthy is also in the conversation too.
I'm just curious. This, you label this sometimes. My sociopathic side's right here.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if they actually draft JJ McCarthy. I could see Dez just going full Dante's Peak.
So it's funny. It's funny. Oh, give me one more of those. Give me another Chris Tucker. Lord have mercy.
Love you, Dez.
The moment Saquon can't say this straight. The moment Saquon signed with the Eagles, immediately venting, and then we had a nice hour conversation about the fact that Stephen Jones is an idiot and that the Giants very well, who have the number 6 pick, and remember the last time they had the number 6 pick, who did they select? Danny Pennies. Can you imagine?
Cue the Joe Budden meme.
Can you imagine? And the draft is in Detroit too.
Oh,
the draft is in Detroit. All the stars are lining up. Give me another read.
Is Denzel Washington starring in this movie? Because I feel like it's deja vu right now.
Denzel's hosting the draft. Can you imagine the look on Giant faces? I think I tagged you in Joe Budden's reaction.
Yes.
When Daniel Jones was selected by the Giants.
We're going to get a part 2.
Part 2. JJ McCarthy at number 6 to the Giants. Mara basically busts through the freaking war room like the Kool-Aid man. It was like, our pick is JJ. He's the next Eli. This these are my conditions. I gave you guys what you wanted. And is this what you want? This is what I want.
So as of right now, as currently constituted, I think I wonder if you're in agreement with me here, where as far as the rankings in the NFC East, it is Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Giants, and the Washington Commanders.
The Commodores led by Lionel Richie.
Yes.
I think that currently. Now, what I will say is, and we mentioned this at the beginning of the season, there hasn't been a repeat champion in the division for going on 55 years now. That's what it feels like. So, with that being said, keep that music going. With that being said,
David Duchovny's about to walk
exactly. Mulder and Scully have entered the chat. What I will say, if the Cowboys continue to fall on their faces in the offseason,
I expect it.
Particularly in week 2 of free agency, which starts for them, and again with the draft, which now last year's draft class was not good. It wasn't. Overshown got injured, tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Mozzie Smith wasn't even a starter in that playoff game.
Right.
And they drafted him to be basically their run stopper. He was not
drafted that high. Yeah.
That high. On top of that, Schoonmaker, their tight end, he kept I think he had 6 catches all year. You see what I'm saying?
Jason Woods should have just came back.
Their best was an undrafted free agent was Brandon Aubrey, their kicker. That was the best offseason undrafted move. So if Dallas falls on their face, do not be shocked. Do not be shocked if Philly, the Giants, or the Commodores overtake them. And all that's going to do is facilitate Jeff Kavanaugh. Shout out to Jeff Kavanaugh. He covers the Cowboys locally in Texas. He said that 2025 could very well be the iceberg straight ahead year for the Cowboys.
I like that.
I like it. Yeah,
I was like, bro, tell me what I'm telling lies. You're not lying because they mess around and do two things: either miss the playoffs altogether, or limp into the playoffs as a wild card and go one and done. Mike McCarthy is going to be Jamal Adams with his key card the next day at Frisco, and on top of that, with Dak being in the last year of his contract, they'll let him walk. They'll let him walk, and then I have no idea because if Bill takes over or Vrabel or whoever takes over, they're not married to Trey Lance.
No.
It's a McCarthy trade. That's a previous regime trade. He's gonna want his guy. He's gonna want Tua's brother, who's in the draft, by the way.
Yeah.
Or their new guy to start from scratch. And again, Iceberg 2025, Iceberg straight ahead. I might have a Titanic T-shirt on with the freaking Ray-Ban glasses because
I'll never let go, Dak. I'll never let go.
Oh, trust me, Steven and Jerry can't wait to let go because he's asking for $60 million.
Oh, yeah.
And so yeah, things can get spooky with the Cowboys next year. It's very well could happen.
I expect it. I hate to put it out there in the universe, but I expect it.
Oh well, what did I say? Did I not say we'd both have new coaching?
Yes. This is the pre-production of the movie that's being written right now.
Did I not say we would have a new coach?
It's not 2 days.
I wasn't banking. I was banking on a new coach and them re-signing Dak though, and I still believe in a world that very well might happen.
Shout out Chris Ballo.
Exactly, that very well might happen. But by the time we get to the Super Draft show and then the season preview show, we're gonna know if he signed or not.
Right.
we'll have all our answers. So it's gonna the Arn Anderson. Give me the Glock. Yeah, I know you have it. I know you got it. Give me those.
No, choosing violence over here.
Yeah, that's really my job. You stole my thunder.
That's what Cowboy Nation wants to do to Stephen Jones in the front office.
Savage. Man.
I got to put it a different way though, real quick. So I have the Eagles number 1 in the division, and to put it quite simply, and this is the ultimate tell me when I'm telling lies here, let this English statement set in for a second. Lamar Jackson has already lost more NFL games this year than I will lose all 2024. That's a mathematically true statement, correct? Assuming the Jets don't sign me tomorrow. And you got to be playing the game to win or lose the game, right? Dallas is simply just not playing the game right now. We're not going to put them first until they actually.
Well, don't worry.
They don't have to be a loser either.
Because Joe Douglas hasn't been signing anybody anyway, so.
The sneakiest. Joe Douglas has literally kept me on Wikipedia for the last 72 hours. He is finding guys that I genuinely did not know they existed,
right,
or that they were still in the league. Shout out to Isaiah Oliver, who I had no idea you were on the 49ers.
I actually saw a meme on Twix, which I thought was really eloquent, where you have a meme of skinny Captain America and brolic Captain America, and it goes Joe Douglas during free agency and Joe Douglas during draft.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
That sounds about right. I like the Kinlaw move for you guys. That helps bolster the interior.
But a lot of these are 1-year deals, which goes to show that they like this is hurrah for Salah. No, but this is also the last hurrah for Salah and Co.
This is plan in 2026.
Yes.
No, I've said that 10 toes.
Our teams are in the same, whether they want to admit it or not. This is all about 2024, and then we'll get there. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Like, you guys going to be running for president of Pakistan, and that could very well be a Steeler from next year. A Steeler or a Viking. Because trust me, those are the teams that are going to be throwing forget $60 million. They'll throw $65 million.
By the way, shout out to Sam Darnold, who's now a Minnesota Viking.
And Kirk Cousins. Round of applause for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins
celebrating Magic City as we speak.
Kirk Cousins got a plate of ribs. He's got some wings.
He's got the buffalo shrimp.
He's got the shrimp. He's at Magic City. He's got his shirt off and the gold chains galore. And he is living it up with Jermaine Dupri and Ludacris as we speak. Like, listen, that's going to be fun to watch. The NFC South is going to be fun. You got Baker, Kirk Cousins, the Falcons are still the safest bet in football right now.
Your time 100% of the time. You're Atlanta Falcons.
Shout out to Raheem Morris.
Top picks: Drake London, Bijan Robinson,
Patterson.
Listen, he's a free agent, but they might bring him back.
I think they will.
I very well might have to draft Kirk Cousins in fantasy this year. I'm just saying. I think if he stays healthy, That's a big caveat. He's battled injuries the past few years.
Speaking of the NFC South, do we see any kind of bounce back, or even just a bounce at all from Bryce Young?
I don't know. So their coach, who they signed, he was with the
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Dave Canales, yeah.
I don't know, man.
He's a defensive-minded coach as well, right?
No, he's an offensive guy.
He's an offensive guy.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
My thing, you know how I feel. You guys know how I feel about Alabama quarterbacks, and
Yeah.
I said this when they drafted him, and I said it throughout last season as well. It's like,
I mean, look at Wack Jones. He's all the way backing up Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville.
WAC 100 is going to be in the UFL in a couple of years, if not next year.
On my St. Louis Battlehawks.
Exactly, or the DC Defenders, the New York Renegades, or the Dallas Renegades, whatever.
Shout out to Jay Bromley.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, I don't trust Alabama quarterbacks. And again, for your boy Joel, who's still in witness protection, he's still in New Hampshire with Walter White and Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, I was actually with them though this past weekend. They say hello.
Don't worry, he went back into witness pro.
No.
Right afterwards. But what I'm saying is, I don't trust Alabama quarterbacks. Name me the last one that was consistently great, not named Joe Namath.
You're not wrong, and I'm not even going to fight you on that. I'm going to go a totally different way because Carolina, to me, has had one of the sneakiest, most successful off seasons here. So Dave Canales and second-year defensive coordinator Ajero Avero, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. But when you look at their free agent signings this year, nose tackle Ashawn Robinson was with Avero at St. Louis when they were, the Rams, St. Louis. Josie Jewell with Avero in Denver. Troy Hill with Avero in St. Louis again with the Rams. Damian Lewis with Canales when he was an offensive specialist coach in Seattle. They're going out and getting their guys and finally trying to get some sort of culture in Carolina, and coming from a year where their owner was throwing beverages on fans, they need
25 sandwiches.
They need a culture there.
Savage.
Love it.
Love to see it.
You know I would choose violence eventually.
Pull out the Glock.
I love this guy.
Pull out the Glock. Pull out the Glock.
But they're a team. I'll say right now, I think Carolina can get to 8 wins. I don't think they make the full jump
In the
year,
South?
but
Why not?
I think they're going to be the team that's forgotten. I think everyone's going to buy into that system real quick, and they can be feisty this year.
We got some breaking news.
Oh.
Some breaking news.
Oh.
The Cowboys signed Eric Kendricks.
Oh!
He changed his mind. He chose the Cowboys over the San Francisco 49ers. You get how about the Cowboys? I'll take it. He's the first Cowboy linebacker since Dexter Coakley.
Congratulations.
And Sean Lee too. Let me show Sean Lee some love too. And Sean Lee.
Oh man.
Yes.
But gentlemen, do you feel like it's time for everybody's favorite segment?
It's about that
It's
time.
about that time.
It's about that time.
Steve, cue the music.
Some Macarena.
I feel like we all have our little dance.
We do. I had that Millie Rock, man.
Yeah.
Shout to Playboy Cardi. New album on the way.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Sirski. All right, so this segment of Clown of the Week is brought to you by the First Class Second Place Podcast, Ugo Boy Podcast, Mongo's Beautiful Beard, Things Galore, and of course, New York Posse. And also shout out to Periphery Studios. Thank you very much. So, guest of honor, Clown of the Week. Please.
Thank you. You got dangerously close to ruining my Clown of the Week earlier.
I have a feeling that we may have the same one.
I passed the obvious one because
Okay.
I guessed you were going to take it, and if I'm wrong, trust me, I'll come back and clown this guy if neither of us took him.
All right.
But listen, you were on the right track. Giant fans, you have every right to be excited about Brian Burns. You have every right to be excited at the fact that you now have a facet of your defense that is fairly elite relative to the league, your favorite word. And, you're now going to be competitive mathematically in almost every game. What you are not okay doing is not recognizing that you are jetsing it real hard right now. Because that was us last year.
Those savages.
We had a really nice elite defense. And we were just watching a young in-house drafted quarterback tank our season. And that's all you guys are going to be doing this year. And so Giant fans who were making fun of us when Jason was pieing himself in the face on Thanksgiving weekend because he finally admitted he had held on too long.
It's coming back soon, though, by the way.
I have a funny feeling. Yeah. But Giant fans that were getting on us last year that now won't own that you are just us 1 year later, you're a bunch of clowns.
Hey.
Oh man, my clown of the week. This is easy. We're going back to back, baby. Back to back. Stephen Jones. You think I care that you signed Eric Kendricks? You could have signed Derrick Henry. You could have signed Patrick Queen. You could have got guys that could have got freaking Joe Mixon for a. But you were South by Southwest on a panel with your sister instead of the free agency war room. And your dad was in the Bahamas. You're a bozo. I don't care. You can sign Eric Kendricks and freaking get Patrick. Shout out to Patrick Peterson, the homie. You can get Patrick Peterson off his couch in Atlanta to come be a corner opposite Trey Diggs. You are a bozo and a half. 30 years and counting, buddy, and I don't know if you're trying to sabotage Mike McCarthy. I don't know. I don't know if that's the plan. I don't know if you're trying to sabotage Dak Prescott, but iceberg straight ahead. The Cowboys are the Titanic, and until I see more, this is good. Step in the right direction. I'm happy. So clap. But I need to see more before I make my decision if it is iceberg year. But Stephen Jones, congratulations.
Trent Sieg isn't even the best long snapper out there.
Tell me what time was and give me an Arn Anderson.
Telling lies.
Oh, man. So.
Wait.
Yeah.
He's been waiting all week for a clown of the week.
I like that bounce you got right there. So. I alluded earlier that I think that it was a good move that the New York Jets were able to get Morgan Moses back from the Ravens. All right. Good little trade. I like it. We need to shore up that offensive line. But it is just annoying to see that in the legal tampering period, when everybody and all these moves are being made, everybody's signing, everybody's agreeing to deals and everything, and we alluded how the Dallas Cowboys have not been active, but we also have another clown franchise in the New York Jets that weren't very active right now. Right. So Joe Douglas, you are my clown of the week because when you have a lot of holes to fill and you have a bunch of free agents that are knocking on your door like this, and you're not answering the door, do you care that this is your last year? You have to. This is going to be your last year, your last season as GM, possibly ever in the NFL if you don't do something. Aaron Rodgers is getting up there. He probably doesn't even like what's going on right now, which is why he's probably entertaining politics right now. Do your job. Do your damn job. Clown of the week, Joe Douglas.
I love it.
It's the round of applause, man. It's the knock for me.
Yeah, it's the knock right through the table. You won't be able to physically feel that at home when you're watching this, but the table almost went on.
I can't wait to see that. I want to see the replay.
You want to see where that mask.
You went straight Dudley Boys. Like, Devon, get the
table. Even though I'm not a wrestling guy, I even knew that.
There we go. Baby,
so,
baby.
I'll tell you where I thought you were going, and I know we're breaking all the rules here, but quick honorary collective clown of the week. Collective clowns. Hey, Tiki Barber.
Yeah.
Calling out Saquon, getting his butt handed back to him. This is a dude who I forget who it was, but somebody literally scared him off the radio. I don't know if you remember that about 3 months ago.
Yes.
Somebody got tough with him, and he just took off his headphones and quit. This dude is not ready for New York media. He does not belong here. I'm sorry.
And also,
Tiki Barber does not.
Joe did it.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you very much.
God's work over there.
Yeah.
Not right for this.
So I think since we're breaking rules today, let's do a three-way unanimous clown of the week for Tiki Barber.
Oh yeah, round of applause.
All right, let's end things on a positive note. We're all about positivity here. So let's cue the chariots of fire, please. I know it's there. It's coming. I hear you, Steve.
I play this every Wizard game, by the way. we have a skip.
Shout out to the Wizards.
Shout out to Harlem Wizards. Keep them checks coming, baby. Love you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's what she said.
So I'll be quick here. As sports fans, we all have media guys we love. In our line, we all have media guys we look to. But as a teacher, I personally have media guys I look to try and emulate the way they talk to people, the way they can relate to people. And unfortunately, and I don't know if we've ever done one of these posthumously before, but we lost Chris Mortensen.
That was my hero of the week
He
last
was.
week.
Okay, so we've already done this. Okay.
Yeah.
For me personally, I adore the way that he could change from fact to opinion seamlessly in a way that you still listened, you still believed him. And I've always tried to emulate him, not just when I'm doing this, but when I'm talking to my students. And so he's a personal hero of mine. So Chris Mortensen, you will be missed. Shout out to you, buddy.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Round
Rest
of
in
applause
peace.
there. Round of applause there. My hero of the week. This one's fun.
Well, it's definitely not in the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, absolutely not. It's definitely
Derek Hendrick as
no. It's Shannon Sharp.
Oh,
Shannon Sharp.
I love it.
He's been getting dragged by, you guys don't know this, but Black Twitter has been having a field day.
Why would I not know that?
has been having a field day with him because his tight shirts and his this, that, and the third, and he's had a great year, and a year just started with the Cat Williams interview. He's been built. He is a hero of mine.
Yes.
And as big of a clown as Stephen A. Smith is, he's also a hero of mine. Just people that build a brand. They own a brand, and they are trailblazers and trendsetters in their field. I love what Shannon Sharp's doing, and especially as a former player too, breaking that moniker of being a dumb jock. No, he's dumb all the way to the bank. His liquor is selling crazy. His show, he teamed up with Colin Clownherd on the Volume. That was a great move for him. His nightcap with the Ocho Cinco is hilarious.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Absolutely hilarious. I love what he's doing, and trust me, I model You Go Boy podcast and You Go Boy Media after Shannon Sharp. So keep on winning, buddy. You're a hero of mine.
Got to get you on the show, buddy.
Got to get you on the show, 100%.
All right. So my hero of the week, I'll just keep it real simple. Jalen Brunson. Proven to be a superstar. Proven to be a superstar in New York. We were kind of scared with that injury that he sustained, but he's back and he's balling, baby. Keep it up. New York. We are the New York Knicks. All right. That was fun. That was a lot of fun, guys. I wish we could have gone a lot more, but you know what? We want to keep the audience feeding for more. We'll be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. I'm Jason Enrique. It's Ugo. That's Mongo. We got Steve behind the boards. We're live from Bravery Studios. And, of course, kick it off with the Ric Flair. It's back there, Steve. Take us home with the Ric Flair.
Learn because it is the best thing. Don't
Peace.
Love y'all.
Yeah. I ain't gonna say who's on the beat because you should know that by now. Check it. Hey, yo, music's on my mind. Like my 5950, I ain't lying. Check it. Yo, this ain't a fitted song. This a get with it song.